Hello, my dear ones. It's Mary Rosette, and in today's video, we will talk about suppressed emotions. In this video, I particularly want to talk about suppressed emotions of men, but even if you're a woman, you can watch it. For women, I can do a separate video because unfortunately, for generations, both men and women were always taught from childhood suppress their emotions, not to show their emotions. So I will do a separate video for women because they were suppressed differently by their families, by society, by their religious organizations, and men were suppressed differently. So I will make a separate video, but again, even if you're a woman, you can still watch it. It's quite similar, but I decided to make it particularly for men because something interesting happened. So first of all, I was very close with my cousins. I have 12 male cousins, and I was closer with them than with my own siblings, as they were like my own blood brothers. And I always saw how their parents, so my aunts and uncles, always try to make them suppress their emotions and grow up like a macho. And a couple of weeks ago, I had an appointment in hair salon, and right beside me, a man brought his son, and another hairdresser started to cut his hair, and it was maybe 9-year-old boy, and he started to cry, and his father jumped from his seat, came to him and said, "Why are you crying? You're man. Men don't cry." See, he's only 9-year-old, and his father already teaching him to suppress his emotions. And he's only 9, and he's telling him, "You're only 9 years old, and men don't cry, and you have to be brave." Blah blah blah. And the hairstylist who was cutting his hair, he's been doing this business for many years. He has 4 kids, he has 4 grandchildren, and he told his father, it's okay if he wants to cry. Today is Friday evening, and all adults are tired after work. Children are tired too, even if they're off school. I see a lot of parents drag their children from one extracurricular activity to another. This is also extra work for children. So he knew how to calm his father down, so he doesn't pressure too much his son to suppress his emotions and makes him stop feel crying. This is how everything starts from very childhood. In any traditions, I noticed in almost any culture, people teach their children. As I said, I will make a separate video for men and for women. So let's talk about men. Their sons, they teach them, you're a man, you have to grow up strong, not to show any emotions. And for last 2-3 decades, a lot of researchers are trying to understand why it's more inmates in jails, men than women, and why it's so many jails for men in any country in the world than for women. What happens with suppressed emotions? I'm not saying all men are criminals, but most researchers, they work for either big institutions that somehow connected to big corporations. So from many thousand years ago, it was always manipulation and brainwashing. They needed all men not to show their emotions and bravely go and fight in wars and win the war for their kings and for their country. It didn't change that much, even though these days we don't have wars every day in every country like it used to before, but we still do, and it's pretty much the same thing. They have to go and win the war for their country and their president. And what happens with suppressed emotions, they're still playing the same game in this society, so it's pretty much manipulation. What happens is you suppress the emotion. Suppressed emotions may turn to fear, may turn to panic attack, but most of the time suppressed emotions turns to aggression. So first it becomes emotional aggression, then it becomes physical aggression. So when it becomes physical aggression, what's gonna happen? Here you go. Most inmates are male in many countries in the world. So again, don't get offended. I'm not saying all men are criminal, but see, it's not their fault. It's society. It's families who blindly follow society's old rules and don't see why it really happens. So why they have to suppress their son's feelings. So what I encourage you to do, first of all, acknowledge where it's coming from. It's manipulation again, and because it happened for many thousands of years, when it goes to people's DNA, okay? So when it's something in our DNA, we automatically live our life unknowingly, and we don't even know why certain actions, our certain words, and certain beliefs come from, because it's deep in our DNA. But anything can be changed, okay? A lot of people are waking up now, they're awakening. Now they're trying to find out why we behave in certain way, why we have certain beliefs, where it's coming from. I see in many psychological seminars, I see in many retreats, more and more men are coming, and I'm very proud of you. It's good that you do digging on your emotions, you do digging on your beliefs, you want to know what's going on, because humanity apparently is waking up and see how much brainwashed they were. So it's okay to express your feelings, but in healthy way. Obviously, I'm not asking you to tell about your emotions to every person you meet. Sometimes you just walk by in the park or meet your neighbor in elevator, you say hi, how are you, and they tell you all their life problems and all their emotions, and you can feel energy of negativity and anger. It doesn't really work like that. Actually, if you feel certain emotions towards certain person, you can sit down and express your emotion in a healthy way. And obviously, I'm not asking you to be emotional or to cry in the meetings in front of all your managers and VPs. Obviously, you need to know the right place and time and people where you can safely express your emotions. If you tell any stranger in the park or any colleague you see in the elevator who don't want to be late for say 8 a.m. shift, actually if someone listens to your emotions who doesn't care, it will not help you. I understand most men, I have a lot of guy friends, and even when we meet, even though we're close friends for many years, they almost never tell me the emotions or the problems that's happening in their life. When I ask them how they are, they say everything is great, like let's just have a dinner or some drinks, and they don't really want to express their feelings as my female friends do. So when it helps you, when you express your feelings, when another person really cares and wants to hear your problems, your emotions. If you don't feel comfortable telling your friends, which is absolutely normal for a lot of men, There are special hotlines. They're anonymous. You can find it in your state if you live in US. You can find it in any province in Canada if you live in Canada. I'm sure in other countries they have hotlines as well, where you can talk to someone about your emotions if you're stressed, if you're burnt out. You just have to find it, and if you Google it, probably you can find it, and most of them are anonymous. You can always talk to a therapist, but I'm a life coach, and in my circle I have a lot of colleagues who I work with psychologists or psychotherapists, and we all notice that the amount of customers, clients and patients who come to us are mostly females. So a lot of men don't even feel comfortable to talk to therapists. So find a source where you can really express your emotions, but not a total stranger, as I said, on the street, because that stranger doesn't give a shit about your emotions and problems. And if you want to get an advice, if you really want to be heard, obviously it has to be a person who cares about your emotions, who wants to really listen to your problems and emotions, who is willing to give you an advice. And obviously stranger won't be the best person to do that unless you really feel comfortable. But to be honest, if I because I have positive energy and I'm mostly high vibrational, total strangers approach me like in stores or in the elevator and they start telling me about wholesale lifestyle improv. To be honest, I politely end the conversation and tell them have a good day, because I totally don't care about total strangers' problems and emotions. If they're my friends or my clients, yes, of course, I'm here for them, but not a total stranger to begin with. I don't know what's going on with them, and I don't know if they're totally okay or not. So you can politely tell them to to seek a professional help if they're really feeling unwell emotionally. So in order to prevent your emotions to turn into panic attacks or anxieties or aggression, it's good to talk on time, not to wait 10 years, not to wait 20 years or 30 years. Like one of my coworkers, psychotherapist, said, most male clients come to me when there is no one and nothing else to save anymore. It means that they came like way too late. Maybe they suppressed emotions already turned to anxiety disorder or depression. Yes, it can turn to depression. It can turn to post-traumatic stress disorder. So please don't wait too long with suppressed emotions. Living with them for many years eventually may cause you even physical illnesses, because everything starts from emotional state. So when you're unwell emotionally, those all negative energies, negative emotions get stored somewhere in your body, and it can turn to a physical illness. So find the right person, and maybe you have a good friend that you can share it with, and share it on time, and don't wait too long for your suppressed emotions to bring you lots of health problems. Okay, so I love you a lot, and if this video helps you, please share, subscribe and hit like. And if you have any comments, or if this video helps you at all, you can drop a comment, and I will see you in my next video.